And let's get started. Again, I hope everybody's doing well out there, taking good care of themselves. In preparation to wrap up this third quarter. Uh-oh. Hold on, y'all. Sorry. Ooh, okay. All right, and let's just jump right into it, see what's going on. Okay. Okay. I'll take that. All right, let's go in order here. All right, let's go in order. So, first one we have is accepting any challenges that come. Can y'all see that? Okay, I hope so. Anyway, I'll always read them. It says, I embrace all tests. Let me embrace all tests and release any fear of loss, knowing that all can be replenished with ease by divine will. So, really challenging yourself right now to embrace new beginnings, really embarking on new journeys and whatever challenges that may come across in order for you to ultimately finish that task and get whatever done. But most importantly, just allowing whatever challenges that does come across your path to simply understand that it's just another test and it comes with newness, embarking on any new journeys, and everything's not going to always go as smoothly. And just simply be like, hey, it basically comes with a part of the process with anything new. You don't necessarily know what you're walking yourself into, but most importantly, just understanding that you will overcome any test that or any challenges that come across. So that is the first one. And then the next one we have is available. It says, I am open. Even in the most baffling problems, know you'll carry me to a right solution at the right time. I am utterly open, receptive, and available. I like this card because it's really allowing yourself to like just be open to whatever it is that comes with this embarking on this new journey, and understanding that even the challenges that you're going to come across, that you're still going to prosper. You're still going to prosper. So most important, making yourself as available as you possibly can, even if that means putting yourself out there, going out there, trying out new things, doing new things, and simply seeing like, oh, okay. Um, a lot of it could do with your mindset, just simply revamping your mindset as to how you're viewing things, or revamping how you're viewing even yourself as to how you do things, and making yourself more available to others. And then next we have emotions. To release strong emotions right now at this time. It says here, to release anger, resentment, or bitterness. May I release my may I release any emotions that block happiness and contentment. So really, not only are you being open and available, but you're doing it in a balanced manner where you're really in harmony with yourself as far as your emotions, and just really being overall balanced about where you stand with things. And it's got a few animal totems here. So if you start seeing like certain animals, I really hope y'all can see that. Okay. So we have a scorpion here, a snake, a frog, and I think the last one, it looks like it's like a slug or a snail. And I can't stand them things. They really scare the crap out of me. But most importantly, look out for certain animals and stuff that may try to reach out to you. And also look up the totem meanings for them. And it may resonate. Um, Myself personally, I've been seeing a lot of frogs. Frogs are about huge transformation energy, as well as embarking on new beginnings. So here we are. That's just my little 2 cents. But yes, definitely release any strong emotions that may simply hold yourself back from not being as open and available that you need to be in order to embark on whatever new challenges and journeys that are set ahead for you in the foreseeable future. And then not last but not least, we have relax. Let me see. Make sure y'all can see it. Okay, I'm gonna work on that. I don't like that. All right. Anyway, you can basically see her like in the tub. I have to read the words. Um, Basically, change me into one who knows how to relax completely, to sleep deeply. Sorry, and receive all blessings of every moment exactly as it presents itself with ease and gratitude. So not only, and I like the order that it came in because after releasing such strong emotions that you may have had about something or someone, um, or even a scenario or a situation that you're going through, like to replenish yourself and to get back. Oh, let me slide these over. Try to make sure y'all can see everything. But most importantly, to let me see if I hold on. Okay, y'all, sorry about that. I wanted to try and bring a little bit more lighting to this side because I felt like y'all just couldn't see this card worth a damn. So hopefully that's a little bit better. But anyway, let's wrap it up. Last but not least, um, with the relax card, one of the things that you could say is I receive all blessings. So at the top, they kind of give you like a little saying that you can say to, kind of call the energy into you. So anyway, that was the last card that we were doing. Okay. Had to backtrack a little bit. All right. Because I was really like, I'm like, dang, I feel like y'all cannot see it. And I just don't like that. Because I was like, y'all need to be able to see. Y'all need to be able to see. Hopefully. That might be a little bit better. All right, we'll roll with it. Anyway, next card up, we have honoring. Honoring card is all about I am kind and I am loving, most importantly to yourself. Um, and I like this card so much because it really does depict you and your current self really nurturing and making sure that your inner child is safe and just being in more of a kind and loving nature to not only just yourself but the people that are around you. So it says, let me feel my feelings without judgment and then release them. Show me how to be kind and loving to the child inside who needs care. And within you, literally, I like the again the story that it's depicting or the timeline where it's like you're accepting whatever challenges that are to come that are new and making yourself simply be open enough to embrace all that comes with newness, right? You don't really know what you're getting yourself into. But even with while you're doing that, you're becoming more susceptible to the process by simply releasing any strong emotions that you had about whatever said journey. Sometimes we overthink and put the cart before the horse, or we think too far ahead about the future and not being as present as we need to be, being open and available when it comes to just being present. We're too either far in the past or too far in the future. And in this case, it's all about simply just being as present as you possibly can and just simply doing the necessary steps of just like taking deep breaths, definitely doing a lot of relaxing, um, and whatever relaxing may look like for you. Here, it just constantly shows a lot of resting. I see from the water, it's like making sure that you're staying hydrated. It's important to stay hydrated as much as you possibly can. And within doing all these things will help you give your inner child that loving and kind care that it solely is screaming out for, it's asking for. So that's super important. And last but not least, we have, when you get done doing all that, we have the acceptance card. Hold on. Let me see. Okay. That's a little better. All right. We have acceptance. It says, I accept myself. Love me and accept myself as you love me. May I find you shining brightly within my own being. And it's just simply, I like how even the card shows where let me make sure y'all can see, where you're almost giving yourself like a great big hug. Like this is a lot of self-care. This is a lot of pampering of self, and just really, and while you're doing all this, it's preparing yourself and getting yourself in preparation for whatever new endeavor that you want to embark on, and just really understanding that you do have the willpower to overcome and get this done. Yeah. Okay. Wanted to make sure. Let's see what else comes out. And I like the harmonic flow. I'm not even with all of these cards, I'm seeing a harmonic balance even within all the elements. I see fire, I see air, I see water, I see earth. Like a balanced airbender. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. We have two messages today. So the first one, make sure you can see, is fruit jam with the number 3. If you nurture it, it will flourish. Ooh, okay, one more time. If you nurture it, it will flourish. The grass is greener where you water it. And I really feel like, again, this is all going back to self. Even in this card, it has like a mother and daughter, but I don't feel like this is mother and daughter. This is more so you nurturing into your inner child. The same thing with this card, and really just honoring yourself, giving yourself that extra TLC that you may need right now, um, so that you can just be in full acceptance mode and really be on the positive beat and track when it comes to embarking on this new journey, whatever that may look like for you. I am going to read the card. Just give me a minute to grab the book, and we are going to get into it. I'm going to put this one right here, and then we'll get into this one. Flip it over. I can remind myself. Okay. So 21, fruit jam, is all about preservation, resourcefulness, and zero waste. It says people the world look over. Hold on. Make sure I got that right. Yeah. People the world overlook forward to fresh fruit erupting in the summertime. The sweetness of berries, the sharpness of citrus, and the unique flavors of tropical fruits are a delight to the senses. Sadly, fruit doesn't last very long on its own, which forced our ancestors to find resourceful ways to preserve summer's bounties. You too, my darling, are being guided to make use with what you have and find clever ways to extend the life of your current resources. You do not need more time, money, or opportunities to be successful, because what you have can be enough if you are willing to stay open-minded to the possibilities of what it could be. Having more paint does not make you a better artist, in the same way that having more clothes does not make you stylish. How you use things is what's more important. This is your sign that the grass is greener where you water it. In the realm of relationships, consider whether the relationship is truly over. How can you bring fresh energy to your relationship? If you're looking for love, this card can be a sign to reconnect with a past lover. Okay. That was interesting. So really, just preservation was the biggest thing. Um, I'm not going to get into the love stuff because I leave that for the other folks. I personally do not do all that. Um, but preservation was the biggest of it. And in most of these cards, there is a single person in each one outside of these two. So preservation that I'm seeing here for the most part is just preserving yourself. Whatever resources and everything that you have, down to your finances or even to the way how you may perceive certain things on an emotional level. Really just honestly with releasing those strong emotions and what they were saying about even reaching out to a past lover, you may also be in like a mode of reconciliation and understanding that there may be a challenge there that may need to be overcome. But it's more so dealing with you and you being more open and susceptible of realizing that whatever strong emotion that you did have about said scenario regarding another person, that it really had more to do with you not simply taking the time to relax and be fully acceptant of where you are and understanding that this challenge could actually be overcome. Perhaps there may be, a past lover, like they said, or a past relationship with a friend or even a family member that you're considering to reconcile and simply say, hey, I may be willing to try this again. But in doing so, you have to make sure that your heart is being fully open to receive what the new scenario may look like regarding that and releasing whatever strong emotions that you may have held on, about said person or lover or friend, etc., fill in the blank, and just really saying, you know what, I'm willing to pretty much wipe the slate clean. Like it's almost like you guys are doing a complete do over, a complete try over again. And what better time now to embrace a somewhat new beginning or revamping how you were thinking or doing things with another person, with this new moon energy and really just embracing whatever the newness may look like. And it could just be, like I said, anywhere from a relationship, or it could be regarding your finances or your careers. Yeah. Okay. And then next card, we have dried flowers, which is 15. Reduction down to that is going to be the number 6. 6 is all about birth, which can still boil down to a new beginning. When a baby comes into this world, they know absolutely nothing regarding far as this world that the new world that they just came into. Um, it says, take solace in knowing that the end of a journey marks the drawing of a new one. So, and when the process of embarking on a new journey, there is still a lot of preparation to be done or to be had that comes with closing out the old journey for the most part. So, I am going to read this card and then we're going to make some time to pick out. All right. Yep. As I suspected, dried flowers is about death, rebirth, and a new life. And what better time now with, like I said, this new moon energy? Take advantage. Definitely take advantage. The art of drying flowers is a chance to breathe new life into death. While the flowers may never be as vibrant or expressive as they were in their youthful days, there is still so much beauty left to be had, and now their beauty can be preserved. There is a sort of reverence in allowing things to mature. They become exalted, having earned their place as everlasting symbols of success. and there is a chance for what was to be born again, but with more complexity, interest, and the ability to stand the test of time. Modern society's relationships with death is not always a healthy expression of life. We have come to fear endings, avoid them as much as possible. The ending of a relationship, job, career path, a way of being, or the changing of technology often awakens deep rooted fears of inadequacy. You may well wonder if the ends mean you've done something wrong, sabotaging what could have been joyous and successful, or perhaps there is a concern that you were never on the correct path to begin with. You have or are reaching the end of a journey, but it doesn't represent a misstep or a failing on your part. In fact, this ends represents I'm sorry, in fact, this ending represents your evolution because with fresh beginning makes a way to you, you can expect to have deeper awareness, greater wisdom, more respect for yourself and others, and a much more robust level of experience. Celebrate how far you have come and how much you still have to give. Rather than assuming fault in yourself, consider that endings of one thing only represent the new life of something else. One doesn't have to be better than the other, nor does the beauty of what came before diminish simply because something different has taken its place. Both versions have their season and time, equally expressing beauty in a new and ever evolving way. Ooh, that was a mouthful, y'all. I apologize for some of the mishaps within me reading. But after reading that, definitely falls in line with everything that we just talked about, right? But it brought a new spin on it because some of the strong emotions that you may be having, because a lot of you all may be undergoing a different career path or a different, making a career change, if you will. And with that newness, as long as you're keeping yourself open and available, you do understand that there's going to be some challenges because you're coming into a whole new different sector. You don't know what that's going to look like, right? But most importantly, with releasing those strong emotions of feeling like, oh, one is simply because you're embarking on this new journey, and even though you're so familiar with a different lifestyle and you're trying to do a completely something totally different now, doesn't make either one of them balance out like one is greater than the other. Um, Prime example, I remember there was a friend of mine at the time. They were making the change from retired military to being into the medical field. And those are two totally different sectors and two totally different lifestyles, right? And with being open and available and allowing yourself to understand that, hey, I accept where I'm at. Let me show you this card because I know it's, but really accepting where you're at and understanding that there is definitely going to be some things that are going to be foreign to you, or, even with newness can come a certain level of being scared. You're scared of what this may look like, especially if you tend to overthink. So the biggest of it is releasing those strong emotions of feeling like, because you may be starting completely over, that there's a slight possibility that you feel that you have failed, or you feel like you're a failure just because you're embarking on something that is a totally another different level of newness that you simply don't know nothing about. I think, you know, it's easier said than done, of course, but when you've gotten used to a certain something where you realize like now you're doing something completely totally different, it can be very scary to do that. And this doesn't necessarily have to be just career. This could also just simply just be a mindset and making the necessary mental shift for that. This could be, like they were saying, um with said friendship or relationship, or regarding um, even a previous significant other that you may have had. But really, it's about doing a reset. But on top of doing the reset, you're simply assessing not only just yourself and where you're accepting yourself and where you're at, and making sure that you're being as open as possible, but you're also taking the time to nurture yourself and nurture that inner child because it desperately needs it right now. But simply knowing that, hey, regardless of what it may look like, because predominantly a lot of times we put extra pressure on ourselves, um, just simply the peer pressures of this world and the way society views things. But you have to really go within and simply accept where you're at, regardless of what that may look like to the outside. And just making sure that you're doing the necessary steps to channel and, make sure that you're nourishing yourself as much as you possibly can. As much as you possibly can. I'm going to try to pull, not even try, I'm trying to work on. I just did it again. I'm not going to, my goal, one of my new goals is to not use the word try so much. So I simply say I am or I ain't, regarding whatever the situation is. All right. So let's see what else. But that's pretty much most of it in a nutshell. Okay. So we have village. It says a tight knit and supportive community can significantly aid preservation and transmission of traditions, cultures to younger generations. Now, this is the third time that this word has stuck out. Preservation, preservation, preservation. Whether if it's preserving yourself, most importantly, but preserving the people that are around you, who is really your tribe or your village. But and regardless of what that may look like, but preservation is key right now. Really just going within, doing the necessary steps to be like, you know what? And I like the way the order came. Oh, excuse me, y'all. Because next we have union. Coming together in a committed partnership is a foundation of expansion and legacy. So, as the card was saying before, you may definitely be reconsidering reconciling with a past lover or a friend or a family member, a person of interest. And last but not least, we have direction. It says take some time to reflect on the direction you want to take your life. Remember, you can make any necessary changes. So when it comes to this preservation, not only are you preserving yourself, because that is the main word that has stuck out throughout this entire is preservation. Preservation, preservation, preserving what it is that you already have, and pretty much making a gumbo out of it, if you will. I don't know, depending on where people are in the world, but um, a lot of times, right? Some of our parents, aunts, uncles, even, if they didn't have a bunch of finances or whatever, the way that they would make their money stretch, if you will, would preserve and hold on a little bit longer to stretch out whatever said resources that they had regarding cooking, is they would simply make a lot of different soups and stuff like that where it would stretch a little bit longer than usual, regarding having meals throughout the week so that everybody can make sure that they ate. But that's just a food metaphor. What we're talking about right here is simply understanding that at any given moment, if you decide that, hey, I would like start over with another, said person and see what the possibilities are and realizing that, hey, you know what, that may not just be too half bad of a problem. But in the process of doing that, because it is somebody that we're talking about from your past or previous, that the biggest of it is you're going to have to release whatever strong emotions you may have had about things that may have happened between said partnership prior to, and just really trying to wipe the slate clean in a sense of, as long as they didn't do anything that you can't forgive, because most people aren't going to forget, but forgiveness is the main thing that you can simply know that you can forgive, then there's a possibility for redirection as to how you want your life to go and what you want it to look like. You can redirect at any time. So this definitely, at the end of the day, it all starts with you and really doing the nurturing work on your inner child and making sure, like, hey, was there anything that I may have done in said scenario to make things be a little bit more testy in said union? And really coming to grips and accepting the fact that, you know what, whatever it is, whatever the scenario is at the end of the day, really accepting where you stood with things, but most importantly, being open by releasing those strong emotions to make yourself more open and available to be able to simply relax your nervous system, relax some of the things that you have been through, and being open to redirecting and having new energy attached to, really an old situation. It definitely can be possible. People do it all the time, but it does take a lot of being super vulnerable, and that goes on either party side. Doesn't matter, male or female, but being vulnerable enough for you guys to be honest with yourselves and release those, like I said, have a real conversation with whoever this person is and say, you know, after you've done the processes of relaxing and healing your own self, do the stuff with you first. But if you do feel like it is worth reconciling, then it is important for you to come into it with new and fresh energy. No lingering anything from the past. So if there is any more stagnant or any more extra strong emotions that you may have regarding said union, then it is definitely time for simply the conversation to be had, because it definitely can be possible here. Yeah. Yep. This is all that I have for you guys. Thank you guys so much for bearing with me and a few of the mishaps and hiccups that we had today. But that comes with embracing new challenges, right? That's what we were just talking about. So, want everybody to take very good care of themselves out here. Most importantly, take the time to rest. Rest is so important. Very prevalent around this time. Resting yourself, resting your nervous system. Um, Resting your mind, getting as much sleep and rest as you possibly can. And until next time, I want you guys to just be safe and keep yourselves in a positive mindset. I will talk to you when I talk to you, and be easy.